Hi everyone! For this project you're going to need a large section of cardboard. We're going to start by removing the top layer of paper. To do this, spritz the paper with water, let the water sit for a second, then start peeling off the paper. It does get easier. As you can see, there's still some chunks on there, and that's okay. We're going to use a Quaker Oats container for this project also. To figure out the size of the cardboard you're going to need to cut, I took a piece of twine, measured out the height, and another piece to figure out my circumference. Take the twine and lay it on your cardboard. I used a Sharpie marker to mark the top of where I need to start cutting the cardboard. I did this on 2 different sections to make sure I had it completely even, and I cut it out. I used a second piece of twine, that was my circumference, made a mark down the center, used a ruler so that way my line was straight, and cut that section out as well. To make the cardboard a little more pliable so we can wrap it around the Quaker Oats container, take your spray bottle and spray the corrugated side. Let that sit for a second, bending it a little. Flip it over and spray the back side. I got these little clamps from Dollar Tree, and it's good to have them ready to go. Once the cardboard has a little more give to it, start wrapping it around the Quaker Oats container and squeeze and pull together so that way your edges meet. Once they do, clamp both sides and let that dry for just a few minutes. When you remove your clamps, if there's a little bit of water, that's totally fine. It will dry out. Now it's time to hot glue the cardboard to the container. Run a bead right at the edge and hold that down. Once it feels secure, roll the container back and start hot gluing all the way around the container. If your edges are lifting a little bit, just run another bead of hot glue under. If you don't like seeing the container color, be sure to paint it before you glue it down. I didn't mind since this is the back. I took a regular piece of paper and drew a little jack-o'-lantern face on there. Trust me, I'm no artist, but I thought it was cute. Cut out the center of the drawings by folding them in half, making a slit. That way, you can put this onto the cardboard. I used some painter's tape to hold it to my container. Then I took an X-Acto knife and carefully cut out the face. If any of the edges of the cardboard are sticking up around your face, just simply glue them down. I used Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant to give the entire container, inside and outside, one coat. I wasn't too concerned about full coverage as we're going to add detailing with other colors. Now it's time to add some detailing. I used Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral to apply to the inside and outside. I did this using a makeup sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree. I added some to the end of the sponge, then dabbed it off onto an extra piece of cardboard I had, and stippled all the way around the outside and inside of the container, and I let that dry. I did the same technique using Waverly chalk paint in the color Ink, and I let that dry. To cover the cut edges that were showing more of the cardboard, I took a paintbrush and went on the inner edges of each of the cuts. Then I extended it a little on the outside to give some more dimension to the face. I then used the same paintbrush and Waverly Antique Wax to give a little more definition and dimension around the eyes, nose, and mouth. Then used the same sponge and stippled the antique wax all the way around the outside of the container. With all the colors fully dry, it's now time to add a little shimmer. To do this, I used Martha Stewart's metallic paint in the color brushed pewter. I did a dry brush method. To do this, I just put some on a piece of cardboard, used a chip brush, loaded some paint on, dabbed some off, and then brushed the entire container, and I let that dry. I felt this lantern needed a hanger, so I decided to use wire jute I got from the Dollar Tree. I measured out a section, cut down what I needed, then used the X-Acto knife and poked holes in the side. To make it easier to feed the jute through, I wrapped each of the ends using some painter's tape, stuck them through, made a loop, and hot glued them in place. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please stay tuned for its cousin, Part B, Jack-o'-lantern. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.